Yes, it's not
Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. It's after 6. I keep forgetting to bring it back, but I think it's we just gonna face this way and we'll make believe. Ready to begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Officer Jones is not here tonight, but we have our rep from Assemblywoman, Dr. Pepper.
Whose office?
I know.
When I heard
Oh, she did say that. It's short time. It's not short time.
Oh, I'm sorry. I've been on vacation. I'm sorry.
just a little bit tidbit of what's going on with the network. She has some bills passed, and also she also has one of the she has AB 829 passed, which was regarding California's Parkinson's Disease Research and Fund. And right now, AB 847 is now in the Senate, which expands law enforcement oversight by allowing local governments to request an independent review from the Attorney General. AB 987 passed, which means protects working families from being taken advantage of by tow truck companies. The bill, which will be voted on in the state Senate, stops unreasonable fees, extends the time before a car is sold, and provides more notice so families don't lose their only means of getting to work or school. And also we have Red Ribbon Week coming up, which promotes awareness about the dangers of drug use and encourages people, especially youth, to live drug-free lives. And she's pleased to announce our district will be distributing about 10,000 certificates to schools across the 79th district.
That's in October.
Probably first or second week of October.
Weeks. Yes, I do. Can I finish?
Sure.
Hello, everyone. I won't take too much of your time. I have a couple of things to share. First, maybe you guys have heard that we have a rideshare service happening in South San Diego called Southeastern Connect. And so I just brought some information about that. Rideshare, it's free till November. You can download the app. It's called Via San Diego. And there is going to be a part where it asks for your credit card information, but you can actually skip that part right now until November if they decide to start charging, then you'll have to upload your credit card information. But right now it's free. You can write it for free. You don't have to give any of your information up except for your name. And then it works just like Uber or Lyft. So there's some infographics here in regards to that. And then if you want to give any feedback on the service area or the time of the service, which is Monday through Friday, 7 to 7, 7 a.m. to 7 him at this moment. If you want it to be extended, if you want it to have a greater reach, then I would implore you guys to scan this QR code and provide your feedback. That's how we were able to widen the service area down to Encanto, and we still have the opportunity to do that until November. Right now, it's running, it's a pilot, we're checking to see what's working, what's not working, what days should it be functioning. I'm hearing from a lot of the schools that Saturday should be a day that we should also service because of Saturday school. So if you guys do have feedback, please do check out the survey and let us know what you guys think in regards to this rideshare program. Okay? The second thing that I have is we are hosting an I Love Clean San Diego, a community cleanup, just right here actually in this area on September 20th in partnership with Councilmember Henry Foster's office. We're going to be hosting it here at Choice Creekside Park, and they're actually going to be by the Postal Service in Valencia Park. Most of the youth volunteers are going to be with us here, and then hopefully the older volunteers will be over by Valencia Park. It's a little bit more, it's just better for adults, I would say, to go over there. So if you're interested, just scan the QR code back here. If you bring in a big group, scan the QR code and register, or you can email me and I'll help you get it registered, because the portal is through I Love Clean San Diego, and it's a little bit not that easy to handle. You have to make a login and everything. But we're working with I Love Clean San Diego. I just had a meeting with them, so if you do want to bring in a bigger group, just email me and we'll get you registered. You don't have to do a login or anything like that, okay? So I'm going to leave some of those here too. And that's pretty much it. Yeah.
One question.
Yes.
Is there a range area that's for the transportation?
Is there a what?
The area.
The VIA, there's a map on that flyer, and I think it's in this. Yes, so the service area here, everything in that white zone is the service area. You can ride within that area. Anything outside of it, you're not going to be able to get a ride share. And like I said, there is opportunity to expand the service area. You just have to provide that feedback. Yes.
Can you just let them know the type of vehicles, because there are
Oh,
different types of vehicles for folks who need some additional assistance?
Appreciate that. Yes. So these are the other great thing about this. It's a clean mobility option, which means that these vehicles are electric. So they're not emitting any GHG emissions into our atmosphere, which is going to help us in the long run. But also we have 2 Kia sedans and then 2 of the big transit cars that can, I think, fit up to a lot of people, but they're also ADA accessible. So if you have a wheelchair or even a bicycle, I took my dog on it the other day, you can do that if you need to. So I do hope that you guys all have the chance to ride it. And if there's something that's not working, again, please let us know, because we are trying to make sure that this works for everyone. It's a pilot program that's going to last for 4 years. So it's not just for this year, it's not just till November, it's going to be for the next 4 years.
Yeah, Lee, can you also please share how they can provide jobs too, because it's a local hire program as well. I think that's really
Yes, I ran out of those flyers. That's a very popular one. But if you are interested in getting hired as a driver, they are hiring from the community drivers to ride for VIA. And so it's just on their VIA website, and I can share that with you via email, that's okay? And then maybe send it out to everybody who came to this meeting. Yes.
You have it on here?
The job opportunity?
Yeah.
No, it's not on here, but let's see if it's on this one.
Or on this one?
I supposed to be before I want, so I have to go.
You have the flyer. We can share the flyer out. And if you want to give me your email, I can send it to you directly too, and connect you with the company who's hiring. But they are hiring right now, and I think it's. Well, I don't want to misquote.
What's the age? For
It's the same as Lyft and Uber, so I think it's 25 and over.
25 over? Okay.
Is there a specific website or?
Yes, it's VIA. But let me make sure that it gets sent out with you guys. But if you guys for sure don't want to follow up, I can share my email with everybody, and I'll share that out.
And also, if you sign in, we'll make sure that we're looking at information. If you sign in on that, you'll have everybody.
Any other questions?
Thank you. So, we usually do an Emerald Hills cleanup for, both in the spring and the fall, but, it's really a challenging kind of schedule, and my husband and I have a new grandchild, so that's kind of been our focus, and we do not have the time to coordinate a cleanup this fall, a formal one, so we're just gonna do an informal Emerald Hills cleanup. We're gonna meet at, the Wayland Canyon entrance by Mr. Stewart's house. They're at the corner of, Pira and Kenwood, and we'll be just doing an informal, cleanup, bring your own bag, take your trash bag home and put it in your trash can. It'll be at 9 o'clock. 20th, on September 20th.
That is an area that we normally do at least once a year. And the last 2 times, it's been cheaper and so that's, and that's a big challenge too. So
We met the challenge, but
we did. We met the challenge, but I'm just kind of thanking you for being that it can. But I don't take for granted that I can't scream if I have to. If I have to. But it would be nice, you know, if we get a few more people to come out and see what we spend our time doing instead of, so if you feel up to it, more people that we have, they absolutely get the work done, so that's what I'm gonna say. I think we have a genuine reminder of his people. We might want to share what they do at my brother's people for the ones that don't know. And after that, it's going to be Tiffany and then Councilman Foster.
Yes, ma'am. First of all, thanks for having us. Just very quickly, my member of the people are located at 6601 Imperial in Canto. We have our food distribution drive every Tuesday.
Could you come up front? and
Yes,
say
ma'am.
something?
We have a food distribution drive every Tuesday. Usually runs from 1 o'clock to 3:30. And so we serve the entire city of San Diego and the county as a whole, usually between 350 to 400 families each Tuesday. So we're welcome to anybody. If you have seniors, you're welcome to reach out to our member of the speaker. You can just go to imbkcdc.org and you can let them have a senior that needs to be delivered to. We do that as well. And we've also helped to sponsor food drives in other different communities as well. We work with the church within the community. So, Fourth has been very supportive of what we've done in Canada with Monica and that we're grateful for that. And it's just been a great opportunity working in the past of the community as well. So every Tuesday, we're there. It's been 6 years now since COVID that we have been going at it. And on the same site, we're also developing a 65-unit affordable housing development that we're in the final phases of our tax credits now to get done.
And I was gonna say, I travel that route on Tuesday. But I really don't do it long enough, you know, I go 8 days.
They offer much everywhere. Yes, ma'am.
Because
You get pretty jabbed up on it.
there's a lot of traffic.
Yes, ma'am.
can you repeat the website again for me?
iambkcdc.org. I am my brother's keeper, CDC.
You was talking about my brother's keeper?
Yes, sir.
Hey, I was wondering why you guys didn't pick up, I gave up some stores. And, I wonder why you guys didn't, take over.
Excellent question.
Because I do the same thing. And I made sure that they put it in District 4 when I gave it up. And then they called me a month later and told me, y'all wasn't doing it no more, and I took it over again. And I asked them, they didn't say nothing. They said they never showed up. So, and then I went to y'all place, and I asked, and nobody had an answer because I care about District 4. And if I can't do it, I want somebody else to do it, for it. I still do it on Fridays. I give it. But I was giving it up because I was thinking about giving it up, and they said they wanted to keep it, and they kept it. Bayview was doing it too. But they gave me my storage. But I was just wondering how come you guys didn't pursue on that.
Good question. We currently source from, of course, Amazon, Feed San Diego, as well as Food Bank. And we do still source from whether it's Target, whether it may be Costco or other places. But the cost to run a program is not simple. We were leasing a truck. It was $3,000 a month. Very expensive. The new freezer that we just got over there costing us almost $1,500 to $2,000 a month just for the electricity. So cost of having a truck to be able to do as they call became very cost prohibitive. So we've set our days that on Wednesdays and Thursdays are the days that we will actually be able to pick up from other outside sources until we get our funding back up and get them with the grant. So that's a part of the reason. But we still pick up. We still go to Ralph. We still go to other places, but not the frequency that is there. You notice we have 4 40-foot containers on the property. One is fully freezer, another refrigerated, and the 2 dry goods. And so it's a lot of work to maintain what we do and the flow that we do in every day. So it's not just Thursday. Even just on a Tuesday, rather than we work, we start at 9 o'clock in the morning, and our team is there, volunteers from 8, 9 o'clock until 4 o'clock in the evening. Then, of course, on Thursday, we come and prepare, and then, of course, just maintain it from cardboard, pallets, everything else. So it's an operation that we do with minimum funding. And the challenge that, Moscow 8, RBW Security, which we have got some grant, but those have been the proponents of the funding is through Moscow 8, through MIW. I work closely with Pastor Brooks. I just got off the phone with Pastor Cole, who have the food distribution, Glenn also. So we're working together to see how we do better. Okay. So let's talk again. Maybe we could look at it, but if you got a truck that we can utilize, I can get the manpower to get it done.
No, I do this.
You're back doing it.
I do it, yeah, I'm doing it with great life, but I like to find people like baby and stuff. When I get extra stuff, I get extra love.
Well, you gotta show us some of the love.
Okay.
We don't give us a call.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'll make sure I give you my number, okay?
I come to your place with Pablo. I met the young lady there running the thing.
Okay, yes, sir. Very good. I'm gonna give you one of my cards, and then you can reach out to me, and I will be more than happy to receive if you have extras.
Okay, because I call at the last minute sometimes. I run
We're there 8 o'clock in the morning. Our security business is there in the morning. That's the only card I have. I'm going to give you one of those. Our security business is there from 8 until 5. And so during that time, we're there
So I
operating.
can toss in my day. I like. Sometimes I get a bunch of eggs, bunch of
Oh,
stuff.
and then we love eggs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Our office number is right there. I'm going to put my cell phone in the back, okay? Sorry to take that.
It was Feed San Diego.
Right, Feed San Diego Food Bank. We also source from Amazon, Costco, Target will call us. A lot of the stores, if they're refrigerated, go out, they'll give us a call and stuff like that.
So,
Thank you.
and while she's coming up, I just want to say happy belated birthday to Miss Tiffany. It was good.
If they'll, yes.
Yeah, it's okay.
No, go ahead.
We'll do it later.
Go ahead.
I emailed you about District 4 when all the ADU stuff was going on. I didn't hear a reply, but we definitely have a lot of hands and feet on the ground that we can help. So please, I'll get your business card and we can help out because District 4, we have a lot of youth that we're trying to get out of, they're growing up and we're starting to see tagging starting in our neighborhood. And I really dislike that. And
We have a youth component on my brother's people.
so please let's connect. I emailed you guys maybe about 7 months ago. I haven't heard back.
What email?
I emailed the Brother Stevens. I went online and I looked it up, because we needed you guys to join the Encanto movement. But,
Send it again, and I'll make sure Sister Mary.
okay, please put your immediate contact, and then we'll talk afterwards. Thank you.
Good evening.
I was gonna say, the meeting is now in the hands of Buford Councilman Foster and his staff.
Hi, good evening. Before I begin, I'm going to give some time to Councilman.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm Henry Foster III, council member for the 4th District. And had an opportunity, we finished council today at a decent hour, I like to say, and so was able to make it over here and spend some time with the Emerald Hills Town Council to come and kind of give an update on things that have been taking place in the City Hall and things that I've been working on. Hopefully, as most of you know, we just completed our budget cycle for the fiscal year 2026. It was a very difficult fiscal year and a very difficult budget conversation. As you guys know, the mayor was cutting some things out, and so we actually had to, for the first time since the strong mayor system has been in place, which dates back to 2006, we had to have a very difficult and unpleasant veto type conversation. So with that, also as the budget cycle, as we are always trying to improve that process, as quick as we finish the budget, we are actually right back into the budget cycle. So as the budget chair, I actually submitted my call memo to my colleagues to where our first budget priority memo will be due the end of this month to the Office of the Independent Budget Analyst. So please, you see my staff out, don't hesitate to talk with them. Anything that you would like to see potentially be on that budget priority memo list, have a conversation, and let's make sure we stay in touch so we can make sure we're indicating the proper things and we're building consensus as we're moving forward. One thing to keep in mind, we are still in the structural deficit. So this next budget cycle is going to be what I think is going to be an even more difficult conversation as we continue to move forward. So if it's anything like last year, as we started in September, I was in immediate meetings with the mayor's office and his departments in January. That's how impactful this budget cycle is. So those are the things I'm working on. Just so everyone knows, we just got back from recess. We had the month off. My team and I were able to spend a lot of time out in the district. So we've been driving around, making sure, checking our streets, checking things that need to be taken care of. And one thing that we are putting together as part of our budget priority memo is our list of streets for overlay and paving. So Ms. Evelyn will be circling back with you to bounce that list off of you and your team. Yes.
I got a letter from the city about 3 weeks ago. You know, my block was the only one on Roswell.
Did they detail it and tell you the projects and things that?
Yes, they're going to remove 5 trees.
Okay.
And I have been trying to get down there from my house
Okay,
for
very good.
25 years. So that was a birthday gift from Tiffany.
All right, very good. And just so you know, while we were off the month of August, I spent time myself, drove quite a few neighborhoods in District 4, one being Emerald Hills, to actually go through and look at the streets myself, understand what took place, kind of looked at some quality things, things of that nature, because one thing that I am really pushing is to do more in-house paving and crews. I just feel that's a better way to go. I think we can get more done at I want to say at a better cost point to get more done. The other thing I'll tell you with the streets seem to be a main topic of discussion in communities. The one thing that we have done, we always talk about equity and I'm sure Tiffany and Daniel will touch upon this, but originally, if you looked at the pavement plan that was done by the mayor's office, they did a poor job in regards to equity and addressing District 4 needs. Over the past year, had conversations with them to where now they've isolated and said, you know what, in communities of concern, that consists of 43% of the overall city miles. And as of right now, I have them making a commitment that every year, the annual allocation will be at least 43% amongst our communities of concern. So we should see some improvements as we are maintaining our roads and so forth. So with that, I don't want to take Tiffany and Daniel's thunder. I will turn it over to them to run through some more things. But before I pause, I also understand Mr. Key's mother is here, who I met briefly before this. And so I know Mr. Key and myself had what I will term an unpleasant encounter. And so in the conversations, and I just want to thank Brother Student Minister Muhammad and also my good brother Hamid, that when the encounter took place, immediately came in, talked to both of us. We were able to sit down, do some reconciliation. I, in turn, apologized to Mr. Kenny Key. Mr. Kenny Key, in turn, apologized to me. And in those conversations, Mr. Key let me know that your feelings were hurt and that you were offended. And so I just wanted to come and say, I apologize to you personally. It was never my intent to hurt your feelings. And so I do want to apologize for that. My actions, as I was not as composed as I would have liked. But the good thing is, Mr. Key and myself have sat down. We have reconciled. And I will say this, Mr. Key has my personal phone number where he can reach out to me and we can have a conversation and look at any type of concerns or needs that he may have as he's out not only in Emerald Hills, but he's pretty much everywhere throughout the district as he sees what's taking place. So I do appreciate all of his efforts. We look forward to building our relationship and continuing to put our best foot forward on behalf of the district. So again, my sincere apologies. All right. With that, I will now turn it over to Tiffany and Daniel to run through some things. I will be here through their presentation to provide any support, answer any questions as part of the Q&A once they're done. All right, fair enough. And Sally, before I sit down, just thank you for your email. You sent an email with a series of questions, which hopefully we will address as we go through this. But no question is off the table. Please ask any questions as we go through this at the end of this presentation. So thank you so much, and it's always good to be at the Emerald Hills Town Council. Thank you.
So I have some general announcements, and then Daniel has some information he wants to share as well. First, I want to share that the Housing Community Development Recover California Housing Program is going to visit the YMCA September 15th at 5:30. For those who have been involved, this has been the meetings where folks have been flood impacted by the January 22nd floods. Have been meeting at the YMCA to come and discuss updates and solutions. So they will present on 2 new federally funded single-family housing programs that will launch soon to assist homeowners and renters that were impacted by the floods. And I bought some flyers for those who may want to attend to spread the word about that. Also, a reminder that the proposed water and wastewater rate increase will be coming up soon. City Council recently voted on a proposed water and wastewater rate increase set to take effect in January 2026. Our council member voted no on the initial proposal, and it's now up to the residents to decide. So if you too are concerned about the water rate increase, there are some proposition, or I brought general information today, but there are proposition forms you can fill out, or Prop 218 forms, which are protest forms that you can fill out, You have to do that by September 30th before council starts by 2 p.m. Any other questions, feel free to contact the city clerk's office, and our office can provide you with information as well. Here Comes the Neighborhoods initiative in Encanto, and for those who are not aware of Here Comes the Neighborhood, artists have been commissioned by the city of San Diego to create permanent work for the Encanto neighborhood in San Diego, specifically the Black Arts and Culture District for the most part. And they have spent several months learning about the community and engaged with the community, and now they're collecting feedback on the designs that they have created. They have extended that deadline to September 13th. So to provide feedback, you can provide that feedback online. I also have paper forms as well for those who are able to go online. And that deadline again is September 13th. Councilmember already shared that we have our budget memo that we're going to submit soon on the 24th. So if you have any ideas in the community that you want to resolve or have us add to our budget priority memo, please contact our office or specifically me. I'll take them. And then I want to share just some cleanups coming up in the community. This weekend we have the Campus of the Baptist dumpster day. Actually, that's on the 20th. And then the I Love a Clean San Diego Coastal Cleanup Day, where Urban Collaborative, Central San Diego County Black Chamber of Commerce, Power Up Youth, our office, Harvey Family Foundation will all be there. So links is here as well. Thank you for bringing extra flyers. The goal of this cleanup typically is down near the coast, but they, I Love Clean San Diego has been partners of ours. So we are doing the Valencia Business Park again, and we are also going to do the Troyes Creek Park. And that's going to not only be the park, but if there is more areas that we can take care of, it'll be along the Youth Corridor. So please join us. That's going to be a large cleanup from 9 to 12 on the 20th. With that, I'll pause and I'll give it to Daniel.
How's everybody doing? Daniel Horton, Chief of Staff, Councilman Foster's office, representing District 4. I just want to give you a couple of updates. Ms. Sally, we did receive your email, and so just to provide a brief update on Radio Tower, she wanted to inquire on who the owner was and what was the permit status of that. And so the owner is still Vertical Bridge Land Co. LLC. And the applicant for the housing development is still DR Horton. However, I did speak with city staff today, and they said that the application status is still under review. No decisions have been made, and there has been no hearing set thus far. So that is the update on that. Secondly, it's been a big year in terms of the city, not only as we discussed the budget, but fee increases. So as you know, the trash fee item came forward earlier this year. Councilman Foster did vote that down, just as we were out in the community talking with seniors, and as constituents came up to us at events and were sharing some of their concerns, it was important for me to make sure that we got a full grasp of what was going on with that in terms of the community sentiment on the trash fee. And Councilman Foster on the dais shared his sentiments as to why we cannot continue to support this, as the city in trying to achieve their budget goals can't do so off the back of District 4. And so that was the same sentiment that went into the water rate increase. We've been sending out emails informing people of those different of the protests, because that is coming to the City Council September the 30th. So if you have not received it, we're pushing it out. We have flyers. If not, I can get the email list, so I'll shoot it out to you, you as well, Ms. Evelyn, so that we can get that out to the community, because you do have to reach a certain amount for that to fail. Likewise, it also was a busy year in terms of land use, right? One of the things that just took effect this past August, I want to say it was the 21st or 22nd, was the new ADU rules that were recently passed or codified, voted on back in April, and then again going through its second reading 30 days later. So that is now in effect. And what essentially that means is that any new ADU development being applied for at the city, right? If it's 8,000 square feet or less, no more than 4. If it's 8,001 to about 10,000 square foot lot, no more than 5. And then if it's 10 10,001 and above square feet, no more than 6. And so that's instrumental because as our office was working through that, it was interesting how it all began, right? And so one of the things that we made sure took place was contacting city planning, finding out just what was going on, and working with them to come up with a framework that was palatable. And it was Councilman Foster who really took the lead in driving that conversation. And so that's one of the updates there with the ADU bonus program. And so that is law, that is in effect. And so thank you all for your support in getting that through.
Does that apply to all new homes going for built in the district? Those amended policies apply to our zones out there in Amarillo?
So in terms of the ADUs, it's any application that's submitted after that August date. However, I do have a list of ADUs that have been deemed non-compliant with the rules. Essentially, they don't have a pedestrian path of travel. I can send that. I sent it out to Troy Valley Planning, but I'll make sure I get it to you all as well. Most of the developments were in Encanto, but I will share that so that you all are aware.
Because I was just trying to understand the complexity of those ADUs, if retroactive or what have you, because the Claiborne one went through, and that one was a bill, it wasn't an ADU, but it went through with something we didn't think it would go through. So for us, we're seeing things continue to go forward that shouldn't go forward. And ADU amendments were made for a number of reasons. One in particular, the hazard increases for fire evacuation. And but yet, on the flip side, you approving permits that create that very scenario. And you continue to come down the pipe. What is being done? What eyes are on those projects that meet the description of what was amended, right? And what is being done to those? Are they being stopped? Are the plans being sent back to the drawing board like they should be? Or are they being flat out denied because they don't meet that amendment?
Right.
That's clarity that the community would like to know.
Yeah, and I'm certainly able to give you that clarity. That was the very high fire hazard severity zone was one of the things that were at the crux of our argument as to why this ADU program as it stood, it wasn't good for us, right? In terms of the ongoing projects, I can get with you to talk about any that you see are going up because we do have a list that we're going through to make sure that city staff does what they said they were going to do when this came forward, which was go back and check each one case by case to determine whether or not it was supposed to be approved or not. Because what we found out was that some of the ones that were there, they didn't meet the standard.
And we don't want you guys to overlook the technicality of it's not an ADU, this is a home, this is a build, this is a regular build. We don't want that kind of nitpicking with our safety, with our neighborhood. I don't care if it was a home build or ADU build. If it violates the amendment, those plans should be invalidated, at least sent back to the drawing board to comply, or just bye-bye, this ain't working. It just ain't, we can't have that.
I agree.
You guys, this is a charter city. It's all about bottom. At the end of the day, it's about political will.
I agree. Any development that comes through that does not meet the municipal code and the community plan, it should be held to that task and move for such reasons. But let me get with you so that I can get the specific departments because we get them in every day as we're driving the neighborhoods and our community reps are out there sending them in. And we're holding the Development Services Department and the mayor and his team responsible for getting us the answers that we need as to what we're starting to see for are seeing in the community to make sure that they're complying with the rules.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And, I mean, we all know the elephant in the room is this radio tower project, right? And, you know, I'm gonna just make it plain because we live here. This is our neighborhood. We live here. So we're the ones threatened in emergency, right? So when downtown doesn't respect how we feel about our safety,
Right.
we have a problem with that. Okay, and right now, when you make amendments to cul-de-sacs to prevent those greedy developers from putting an apartment complex behind homes, when you make that, it's based on fire, common sense, and respect to the community. Okay, but when you turn around on the flip side and allow or potentially allow 123 homes to be put in a, literally create a cul-de-sac, 2 of them, in a high fire zone. That's what you're doing. That completely contradicts the reasoning and the sound reasoning behind the amendments in the ADU. Okay, because it only has one way in, one way out. And right now, it's already a hazard up there. So you put 103, and you guys need to speak to this more to the housing people or whatever. It's not just 123 homes. It's 732 when you factor in the ADU allowances for each home. We're not stupid. And we don't want that. We don't need that. That's irresponsible, reckless building. It goes against the housing and development plan, everything. And to allow that to us in our neighborhood is to be complicit, it's like allowing a rake to go down in front of you, we just can't have that. We're going to lay down in front of bulldozers. We're going to do whatever we got to do to stop the harms coming to our neighborhood from this development, this greedy land grab is what it is. And I'm so glad you came tonight, because in these public comments, we get a lot of the loonies and a lot of this other stuff. And y'all probably got earplugs up there. I wouldn't blame you, but I appreciate you coming tonight. We have a vision for our neighborhood, and it doesn't factor in D.R. Horton. They're not from here. They don't care about here. And this is the charter city. They can't come and do what they want to do in our neighborhood. I'm sorry for going there, but we haven't been able to bend it.
I appreciate that, Mr. P. I'll touch base with you as well, so we can continue that conversation and keep it going. I know this has been something you've been very passionate about for the past few years, and this is something that has just come up. So I appreciate you.
Thank you. And I'm sorry, y'all.
Last but not least, Tiffany, do you want to cover Emerald Hills GDP or?
The GDP.
Yes, so the GDP was completed in 2024. They are now going forward with the phase of looking at what design is going to look like. And this year's budget cycle of $264,160 is allocated toward that project. So they're in the process of looking at what the design is going to look like. That's it for it.
The park. Is it on the priority list for construction for the future?
It is definitely on our D4 budget priority list for the future. There's currently almost about $3.4 or $5 million that they are working. That's in there that they're going to be using for design this fall. We were told by city staff, and then the construction part. It's supposed to be slated sometime before I want to say FY27 or 2027, and so yes, it is certainly on our priority list for being funded.
Because we didn't make the CIP list for the planning phase.
Well, you can always submit the CIP list to us.
Yeah.
We'll take the priorities that you have. And in addition to that, for the park, if there are things that we can do in the meantime, like last year, we got $400,000 for the hard courts in the budget. So we will do what we can to continue to improve the park as we do the overall.
Are you guys done? Just as we talk about the budget memorandums, that's a good question. What we put on there, just so everyone knows, and it's been a difficult conversation for me as budget chair, because a lot of my mayor, a lot of my colleagues, you hear the word fiscal responsibility, but I've taken the position with the mayor and the independent budget analyst that I'm not cutting my budget memorandum short. Meaning, when they come and say, give me your top 3 items that you want, my position is we are so far behind, I'm not in a position to negotiate. Until you get us where we need to be, then we can have that type of conversation. But for right now, I'm approaching it from a pure equity scenario. And so I am keeping my budget memorandum as robust as I can keep it. Because I think it's important that, one, our projects that are identified or our needs that are identified don't get lost. I want to make sure that we keep it in the forefront, that all of my colleagues know what my priorities are, and the mayor's office knows what my priorities are. And I'm pushing every day to get as much on that list as I can, which is why we had the conversation about pavement, overlays, and making sure that we are getting what I will say our fair share. In no way are we there. I think hopefully most of the time, if you guys talk to my staff, there should be agreement. It should not be a fight of, no, I don't want to go and get this street paved or get that street paved. I want our roads to be a 70%, what they call a PCI or a pavement condition index. I want us at the 70%. And so we are continuing to have those conversations, and I will continue to do so. So that's the commitment that I feel I made to District 4 in the community, and that's the position that I take every day in every one-on-one meeting, every meeting with city staff that I have. I constantly convey that message that I am not in the position to negotiate. My list, my memorandum will remain robust, and my expectation is that we continue to get things done and to knock that list down.
I have a background in that, on the roads. Department of Public Works, did overlays, pavement, all that stuff. 5.5 years, that was my job. There's a formula, I remember the news story about this debate over the formula that y'all use that's not working to calculate and distribute the money equitably. I remember that story. I wanted to ask, is that been resolved? Is there a new formula?
Well, as
in
I
place?
said, there is the most recent commitment that we received was that 43% of our entire system is throughout our communities of concern. So every year there will be a 43% commitment to those communities of concern, which is a lot better than how they rolled out that pavement plan. If you go back and look at what took place at council, I took a very strong position that the formula was not adequate, that they just played a numbers game. And if you go back and watch what took place, essentially what they said was the mayor's objective is to maintain a 70% PCI citywide. What does that mean? That means he can go pick all his good streets, and he can just go do all those good streets and ignore our streets. And I told them that was unacceptable, which is how now we've gotten to the 43%. The one area that we are still working on that is a point of contention are what we call unimproved streets. Right? No, it's called unimproved, meaning there's been no paving. Typically, there's no type of infrastructure underground, no pipes, no anything, and it's basically a dirt road. Right? Perfect example, if you go to Webster, you have a road, Mary Lou, that runs through, right? You see weeds, you see this, you see that. It's basically a dirt road, but it is a road, and they call it an unimproved street. And those are the things that they did not figure in at all when they did the pavement plan, which Mr. Key, that's Mr. Martin. Where are a high number of unimproved roads? District 4, right there.
Also,
They are very prevalent in our district.
also the quality of work. And
Yes,
the
that's
same.
what I just said.
The quality of work, they say, if you ride up Kelton Boulevard, somebody was high putting up that damn line. That must have been high, because the line going like that. That can cause an accident. Some, it's tight here, you be riding on the middle of the line, you know, somebody was told.
And that's what I touched upon earlier, making sure we have the right quality. One thing that we have to do, Mr. Walker, to be quite honest, we got to make sure that our folks have the proper equipment. Our equipment is in bad shape, and they're struggling. I walked that yard with them. It is in bad shape, and we are going through. I took some issues with how we deal with our equipment. I think we've done some things poorly in regards to how we make the decisions on what we rent versus what we purchase versus how we upfit the vehicles in certain things, right? So those are all the conversations that are taking place. I pulled the auditor into that conversation. So we're going to go through and see what we can do to be more efficient and to make sure that we can, put our resources where they need to be to help our workers get the work done to help our families and make sure we're improving quality of life. So those are the things that we're doing. Just really quick, Mr. Key, I share in your concern on land use codes. What I always try to tell folks, you really have to pay attention to the land use codes. If you are at a planning group meeting and the project is being presented, it's kind of too late because of the way that the land use codes work. And I'll give you an example in what took place in this last budget cycle. The real core of the issue that is really driving your concerns is when a project is deemed complete, what are the statutes that they must follow? And those are what we call statewide concerns. As we are, I heard you say, we're a charter city. We can do our own rules. To a degree, yes, we do maintain our police powers to do certain things with land use codes. But the way that the housing conversation is taking place, the state has taken a very pro-housing position. When the governor, and maybe you can highlight this a little bit, but with the last budget that he signed off on, there were some trailing bills that he attached to that budget. And one of the bills that he attached and made permanent was that what we call that grandfathering. You'll hear the term grandfathering in. So for example, the way the Clobber project went, how that project, even though we removed things from the land use code, it still had to be reviewed and analyzed under the rules at the time it was submitted, which is why that project went forward. That state statute that includes that provision, the governor made that permanent as we are working through this. So those are the things that we can come back and provide to you. I'm hoping it went to the Choyas Valley Planning Group, but he did that as he signed this last budget, and he had some trailing bills that these things that are creating concerns throughout communities, he made them actually permanent. And so those are the things, and even as we're having conversations about CEQA, he is even looking at removing what he terms obstacles regarding CEQA, because there's too many projects that people wanted to hold up and use CEQA as the basis, to where he is looking at removing those types of obstacles to make housing more what they term easily built, and taking away those types of obstacles.
Right.
So we
That's why we.
can go back and we'll send you something, Mr. Key, of what those bills were that he tied to it. and what that impact is.
I
because
remember,
they are,
when that happened,
Right.
and our position is, if we don't have a voice speaking for us, which you represent, we ain't got a chance. And no matter what Newsom did, policies or whatever's in there, we still should have a position where when we say we know that harm's coming to our neighborhood, we don't care about no policy. You don't allow no policy to allow harms. Okay, and what's going down right now, harms are being released to our neighborhoods, and policies and law, whatever y'all changing and passing, don't make it right.
I agree. I agree with you 100%. It doesn't make it right. I think what will be interesting is my understanding that the Choice Valley Planning Group has filed a formal, I'll call it a complaint at this point with the courts on the Clobber project. And so I think
But that's
that,
that's the individual project.
Mhm.
That's the micro.
Yeah, but you got to start. Yeah, but you have to. You have to.
You have to start somewhere.
Right. So essentially, it starts to address. It starts to address what codes are on the books at the time the project is being reviewed, and starts to analyze that to where the courts will make that decision. And so that will be a very important case as we are looking at how land use is working in the state of California, right? So it's going to be a key conversation. We just got to see how it plays out in the courts, and then we will get our information once they make a decision, and then we will see what that does and what precedent it sets.
They're making all these rules about $1 million homes we built. We don't need
Well,
them.
someone else has to have
No, just the Choice Valley Community Planning Group sued the city, and this sets the precedence for radio towers. Now, Clobber project, you met with my wife about the Willie Morrow Grove. That is a vision that the community would love. Now, the more I learn about Mr. Woolley, meeting his daughter, I live on Gibson Street, right up the street, right? And the way Viviana, sometimes you get tough love, from your constituents. And I've always thanked you for making the motion for the bonus ADU program. I was just in the coalition meeting last week, and 23 communities said, Foster, thank you for doing that, when nobody else did any motion for that, when Neighbors for a Better City was fighting for 4 years, right? So I was at that meeting, so we do want to thank you for that. But this Clobber project, it is, the more I learn about this great man, Willie Morrow, he doesn't deserve a street, he deserves the street and the park. And I'm going to fight for this park. As my wife presented that project, this is something that the community needs. Every day I meet young kids in our neighborhood, I take them out to lunch, and where is their path going to go? Where's their path going to go? Where they're going to buy their next house? Where are they going to build their family? Because SB 79 is going to destroy Encanto because of the trolley. That's the argument that they're using. The trolley, SB 79. So all these buildings that they're going to build, right? They're going to take away from these single family homes. They're taking away from families, and we need to fight this. Now, Willie Morrow, this man, today I talked to another guy, I don't even know. He goes, yep, I used this products. I got the Jerry Curl when I was young, in my 70s. And you know what? The more I learned, I go, man, this man deserves his park. You saw the vision, Mr. Henry Foster. I'm pretty sure you've seen the vision. The amphitheater with all these beautiful things for the community, and I feel that Viviana Moreno, the way I spoke at City Council, like I said, we got some tough love, but you know what? They disrespected District 4, and I feel like Viviana Moreno in District 9 disrespected you. And that doesn't apply with District 4. We need to stand up for what we believe and for our youth and for our future families in Encanto and Emerald Hills. So please keep that in mind. And Willie Morrow, we need to make this park happen. We're raising funds. We are suing the city, and we are going to fight this, and because that sets the precedence for the next thing, which is radio towers. Just imagine, radio towers could be a landmark for San Diego. It could be, why do I have to go to other places to take my kids hiking. When we have beautiful trails here, why do I have to go to Mount Soledad to get a beautiful view when we can have it all here? You know, so please. And I also went knocking on doors last weekend, seeing what because as an Encanto representative, I want to know, and I'll relay the information to you, Mr. Henry Foster, to you, Mr. Roosevelt, Rosemaster, and to Martha, to everybody, because I knocked on doors, and the first thing I heard is lighting is poor. Why do people dump trash? Why do people go? Because it's dark, and they feel they can get away with it. Well, District 4 is not a dumping ground. It is not a dumping ground. So, myself, as an Encanto representative, I feel that cleaning our streets, you know, getting rid of these dump grounds, and making Encanto a place where we can be proud of. So,
Brother Eric, no, since you said my name, I have to be able to stand up and say something as well. Since I've been here for about 45 minutes, I've seen a lackluster performance. I've seen a lackluster apology that's been overdue. It's unfortunate that we have to have an apology over 6 months. We haven't even had a city address. It's unfortunate that we have our leader that's unable to provide us with solutions. Since I've been here for about 45 minutes, I've heard all problems and complaints, even from you all in the audience. Ms. Evelyn, when we have meetings like this, it's imperative that we have solutions that are brought to the table. The economy is going to get very dark and very gloomy coming up here. We have to have a champion for change that's coming with solutions to these problems. Bring us your problems, because we write solutions. Don't bring us some complaints. Please. All of these complaints and problems, let's bring some solutions in here, please. Solutions. Solutions.
I'm just saying,
Because they treat us like an armpit.
Call to order.
Okay.
They treat us like an armpit. And we need some passion.
I'm the boss.
Okay.
When you get a chance, write up Roswell.
I drove it.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, we'll give you an opportunity to come back.
Somebody said my name.
Yes.
So that's what happens when
I'm
when
just,
you get that
all I'm
close.
saying is that I walk on the streets, I knock on doors, and I probably knocked on over 2,000 doors in Encanto, and most of the people know me. And all I'm saying is I want to hear their complaints and pass them up to you guys. I'm just a citizen that works 40, 50, 60 hours a week. Last week I was up in LA. Every single day drove home just to have my family with a proper yard in their backyard. You know, that's what I want. Families to come. You know, it's awesome when you see actually a mom with a stroller that they moved into the neighborhood, even though we don't have a sidewalk. But that's okay, because sidewalks was a blessing, because they couldn't build those ADUs, right? So I said your name, and I'm just a relayer of information about people.
I hate to cut you
No,
short.
don't worry, ma'am.
We're over
You're
time.
the boss.
But there's a few things as chairperson I want to share. I represent people on Park and Rec, and this year, Clayton Park is not AD4, but I was asked to take the lead on it. They changed the name of the school to Dr. Pennington. Park in the school was adjacent to each other. And I took the lead because I am the only person of color on Park and Rec board. And I must say, Dr. Pennington and I have the same home state, which is Alabama. So, right now, I'm trying to find some pictures of Dr. Pennington. And also, I really have a pretty good hand in getting response from him. I always have to be written what I think is going to be right. But however, I have submitted some pictures of her. And there is supposed to be a statue in front of the park of her. And they've done the first phase of the park. And there's still more to come. And Tiffany mentioned this part. It will more than likely be done in stages, because you lost a lot of money with this new federal person in office. So But just to get those 2 courts done this year, it made a difference in that park. People go to the park and see for yourself how it's running down and how electric that park is. Every month, I have to remind them to clean the sandbox. Now, I don't know for what reason, when they outsource the ground, city employees clean the restroom, but the ground is outsourced to Aztec. And I was told that Aztec said they don't turn the sandbox anymore. You got to in the sandbox. You got the wild animals and maybe the cats need in the sandbox. So these are things that as people in the community, you need to walk through there and see and support me on fighting for what we need in this community. It's so much we need that the council can do. And Councilman Foster on those things and we can tell.
That's all we're here.
We have to stay on him and remind him because his memory is just like the rest of us. It's overloaded.
Does anybody in downtown, Mr. Foster, care about what we want? Because we have a vision for this location, and the city just seems to not care about our vision. To me, and to a lot of us, it makes no sense to cap something. It's kind of like if we knew there was oil underneath those towers, we would never allow these homes to be put on it so we couldn't get that oil out of the ground. What you put on that location matters. And with a $250 million deficit, we should be putting something on that location. The city should be making sure that they capitalize off of that location, and because it could be a perpetual situation of revenue. And it just makes no sense to allow the I'm sorry.
We're gonna have to cut it
I'm
short.
just
No,
sorry.
it's okay.
I'm
sorry.
sorry.
over our time allowed.
We never been able to say our
No,
piece
Yeah,
That's
we
right.
had time before when they presented
with all the
to our
crazies.
group 3 times. Well,
But,
Up close and personal, this is
Mr.
different.
Dog has been generous about letting us use the library
Yeah.
because if he wasn't, we would not have a
Right.
meeting place.
Well, you're welcome to my house and we'll have it unlimited in my backyard. The Yimbys are we're fighting the Yimbys and the Casitas Coalition, and that's what a backyard's all about.
I have to share this. And maybe I should say it because it has not been approved. But there's not an escape card at the campaign. And
I think the kids should vote on that.
no, it's going to come before the community, but let me say this. There's a lot of opposition, but this money comes from a donation. If the community don't want it, it's gonna go back to the donation. It cannot be used for anything but that. The person that donated this fund wanted to put it in a community of color and name it after a person of color. So that was the stipulation. Anything else, it will go back to the foundation and it will be presented next October in Canada, so make sure
Can
you
you please
bring,
vote?
Hey, nah,
make
Willie
make
Mark.
sure you bring everybody there. And you
Yeah.
really can talk to you guys more.
We got the William Morrow Park, that's a
Yeah,
different.
so we need,
Yeah.
but we're gonna have to adjourn because, like I said, Mr. Bug is overly generous to us. And I want to thank Councilmember Foster. And we may not be happy with some of the things you do, but that's not, you know. And I can say, all we can do is stay on this trail.
and if you guys check the email or if you signed in, I will send you my write-up with Ms. Sheila's combined because I'm not a secretary. I just play one on TV. So, I will send it in the email and on Facebook.
Yeah, just before I go, I just want to thank everyone for allowing me the time to come and see you and to talk with you. As I said before, and I just want to make sure everyone knows this. I live in this community. I'm born and raised in this community. My family built this community. The Encanto Little League baseball fields, my grandfather built. You can see his stamp in Emerald Hills Park on the concrete. So please, don't think that I don't care. Don't think that I don't live here. I live here. I don't live in Spring Valley. I'm not going to have to move into the area, right? I live here. I am from here. Okay, and I just want to make sure we're clear on that. I didn't move in 5 years ago. I didn't move in 3 years ago. I have been here. So I just want to make sure we're clear, which is why I say, so your concerns, I live there. The same traffic issues you have, the same traffic issues I have. Again, I ain't just moved here. Okay? So I just want to make sure we're clear on that. My door is always open. Come see me. If you got things. What's that?
We need to make plans for you to come here, not the Wilhelm Center, because some people still will not.
Then you know what? You know what I say? Just call us if you want to meet. I have met with other folks in other places. That is something that was worked out by my predecessor so that at least the office had a place to have office hour meetings where it doesn't cost the city anything.
Yeah, what I want to say also too though, when the council member shows you who they are, believe them. When the council member shows you who they are, believe them. And yes, it's okay for a person to have more than one home. What I have right here in front of y'all right here is the Ethics Award by the Better Business Bureau. And we need ethics in our politics. That's what we need. City Hall is not a Taj Mahal. Get in the community with the people. Stand with the people. Do things for the community and not to the community.